Assalamu alaikum. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. My name is Shaukat Rashid. In the name, in the 99 names of Allah, who is Al Malikul Mulk, He is the one who owns and rules all the creations of this universe. Today, I would like to talk to you all about hopelessness and faith, despair and faith. So as I was reflecting on this topic, I have chosen two events which I would like to discuss with you all. The first event, 3,800 years ago, Sayyidina Ibrahim alayhi salam, when he was being thrown into the fire because he has broken, dismantled idols in the temple. It was in current times Iraq and at that time Mesopotamia. And the reason I have chosen that to discuss with you all, because the hopelessness itself is basically when your back is against the wall, when you see that there is no hope and nothing is working out, or that may be the end of life. So at that time, imagine Prophet Ibrahim alayhi salam, that he at that time as a teenager, being the only believer in Allah and the whole world in a way against him and throwing him in the fire. So when Prophet thinks about it and Angel Jibril comes to him and asks him, what would you need? So his response is, if you think about it humanly and put yourself in a situation like that where the death is imminent or hopelessness is there or such a worldly affairs are against you, human mind would take it in a very negative way. The faith would revive you, put your trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when Angel Jibril asked him, his response was, Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil. So I'm okay, I'm fine. I have my trust in Allah and He's the best custodian, He's the best guardian. So that is the depth of faith, which when I reflect upon, to me, is a guidance for us. It does mean that different people are going to have different tests in their lives, different situations where they will come across hopelessness. And by no means I'm suggesting that you make the dua and walk into the fire. The point is, when there is a test, you do everything you can, humanly possible, and then you put your faith in Allah. Allah loves that, and then you trust Him, and then when you make this dua with that faith and with that trust, Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakil, then He becomes your custodian, He becomes your guardian, and He takes care of affairs for you. If you fast forward 2,500 years from that event, in the year 625 AD, I believe year 3 of Hijrah, when Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, peace be upon him, and his companions had the battle of Uhud, and Abu Sufyan and his people from Mecca were fighting against them in, in the Mount of Uhud. So they suffered extreme losses, and at that time, for different reasons, which is a topic in by itself, Muslims suffered a defeat. Uh, Prophet's companions, 70 of them, 72 of them were martyrs. Prophet made special dua for them. However, the point I want to reflect on is when Abu Sufyan and his people went back, as they were going back to Mecca, they thought they rather should come back to Medina and finish off on the Muslims. So this news came to Prophet and all the companions of Prophet. And you can imagine in a small city like Medina, when you have such a heavy losses and loss of life, a lot of people lost their loved ones. Prophet himself was injured at that time with that kind of hopelessness in a way that Muslims' back is against the wall and they are being threatened for their lives and for their very survival. So when this news come to our Prophet, his response is again, Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel. Allah is sufficient for us, and He's the best custodian and guardian and wakeel. And if anything, it increases their faith and their resolve. At the same time, they prepare themselves again with humanly what they can to fight against Abu Sufyan and his people, and they come out of Medina um, to face off on them in case if they come back. What actually happened, they did not come back, and Prophet and his companions waited there for about 3 days, and then they returned back to Medina. However, when the threat was there after the Battle of Uhud, the threat was real, and it was a threat of the very existence of the Muslims who were at Medina at that time. So this could have created extreme hopelessness with people who died at the Battle of Uhud, and now they are facing another battle with the same number of fighters from Mecca. However, they humanly did what they could in terms of preparing themselves, and then they put their faith in Allah, and Allah did take care of them. They all went back to Medina safe, peacefully, no harm was done. So the message I would like to convey about this dua is the faith itself. When in life you are facing a situation of difficulty or testing times, at that time you do what you can humanly to make all the preparations which could be done. However, at the same time, it should not be hollow. It should be with, as a Muslim, it should be with the faith, with the trust. So you do want to hand over, after all the preparation you have done, your matter to Allah and give Him the custody of your matters. And once you have done that, the peace which is going to flow in your heart and mind, and then the Allah's help which is going to come is going to be beyond the worldly matters. So my message to all the young people, old people, everybody is that in the testing times, please do all the preparations at the same time, make dua, have a trust in Allah, and make this wonderful dua which our Prophet had made, Hasbunallahu wa ni'mal wakeel. With that, I would like to end my today's khatra with all the best and happy Ramadan to everybody. Assalamu alaikum.